From the international scene, ABC News agrees to pay $50 million to U.S. President-elect Donald Trump to settle a defamation lawsuit after its star anchor falsely said he had been found liable for rape. Details of this and more coming your way soon. To stay with us. Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now, details of the news. President Bola Tinubu on Sunday urged leaders in West Africa to draw inspiration from Ghana's recent peaceful election as a model of democratic maturity and national unity. Tinubu said this at the opening of the 66th Ordinary Session of ECOWAS at the State House Conference Center, Abuja. It lauded President Nana Akufo-Addo and the people of Ghana for the resounding success of their recent presidential and parliamentary elections, setting a high standard for the region. Tinubu praised President Akufo-Addo for his exceptional leadership and unwavering commitment to ECOWAS during his two-year term, describing him as a formidable Pan-Africanist. President Tinubu said the ECOWAS Regional Action Plan on the fight against terrorism has provided a comprehensive framework to combat violent extremism and enhance regional security. As ECOWAS nears its 50th anniversary in 2025, the authority's chairman urged member states to recommit to the bloc's founding ideals of economic integration, peace and prosperity.
Of the leading candidates who happens to be the incumbent vice president, His Excellency Mahmoud Awunia, together with the leadership of the ruling party, New Patriotic Party, NPP, considered defeat and accepted the outcome of the president by congratulating President Mahama of National Democratic Congress.
Sincere apologies for the technical glitch. Now to the stories. The Speaker of House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, urged Nigerians, particularly his constituents, to communicate their expectation for the 2025 budget, which President Bola Tinubu is set to present to the National Assembly on Tuesday. Speaking during a meeting with members of the Zaria Educational Development Association, the Speaker announced plans for the establishment of 4 additional federal institutions in Zaria to complement the existing ones. Abbas, who was in Zaria to inspect ongoing constituency projects, commission completed ones, and lay the foundation for new initiative, revealed that a new Federal College of Education will soon be established following the upgrade of the existing college into a Federal University of Education. Other planned institutions include a state-of-the-art College of Health Sciences, a National Open University campus, and a College of Legal Studies. The Speaker highlighted the significance of the new institutions in enhancing Zaria's educational infrastructure and providing essential resources for the region.
We have a lot of projects beginning from 2023 supplementary budget to 2024, and you know we have 2 budgets. All of them contain some elements of projects for Zaria Federal Constituency, and this is the very first time that I have come in more than 1 year to inspect all the work that have been done. I think what I have seen is quite commendable.
The Supreme Court will on Monday, December 16, determine the fate of President Bola Tinubu in a fresh suit seeking his removal from office as Nigeria's leader. The new suit is bringing the Apex Court to sack Tinubu on 2 major grounds of alleged non-qualification to hold office as Nigeria's president and usurpation of the same office against the law of the country. A candidate in the 2019 presidential election on the platform of Hope Democratic Party (HDP), Chief Ambrose Abatoworo, filed a fresh suit directly at the Supreme Court over a plea court to disqualify Tinubu on account of forfeiture of $460,000 to the United States of America over alleged involvement in drug trafficking related offense. Besides the alleged forfeiture of the sum in relation to drug trafficking, the former presidential candidate also accused Tinubu of being an active agent of CIA, a position he said prohibits Tinubu from holding the office of the President of Nigeria. Meanwhile, Tinubu has been served with the hearing notice through the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice. Legal giant Chief Wole Olanipeku's son has been engaged to defend Tinubu in the suit on Monday. It will be recalled that the Court of Appeal had at one time imposed a fine of 40 million naira on Owuro to be paid to Tinubu, INEC and others for filing a suit against them. The wave of seeking greener pasture continues to intensify in Nigeria. The National President, University of Ilorin Alumni Association, Professor Abdulrazak Kelani, has said Nigeria ought to sign a memorandum of understanding with host countries where Nigerians are traveling to following years of investments done on such individual. Speaking during the 2024 Annual General Meeting of Ogun State Chapter and the second Tawhid Odedele Biennial Lecture, the national president of the association, Professor Abdulrazak Kelani, said Nigeria is not exploiting the options of getting more revenue from that route. Professor Kelani would note that Nigerians can thrive wherever they find themselves, set the level of investment and those trained in Nigeria and with Nigerian resources should not be allowed to waste.
And sign an MOU to talk about this country. For you to jack as medical doctor, some amount of money should come to Nigeria. If you go to Saudi Arabia, Middle East, you see the Bangladeshi, Pakistani doing any job, Filipino doing any job. They are not coming on their own. There's an MOU between the government of Philippines, Pakistani, Bangladesh, with Saudi Arabia, with Emirati. Something is coming to their country with that. In the same respect, you don't stay there indefinitely. After 4 years, you go back, another person comes in. To train a medical doctor in Nigeria is not a small game. If you know the amount of money, the book they have to do, the lecturer to pay them, the services.
Speaking further on the concerns of also a number of first-class graduates in the country, the varsity Dan stressed for the need for enhanced quality control towards ensuring that those who back first class are those who truly deserve it.
That many of the private universities who are teaching out this first class, they are running a business. And one of the PR we need to do is to get people to come to your university, and I think that's the picture. If you go to the public university, you don't see such first class in a public as you see in a private university today. But I think that's the area of quality control, quality assurance.
Implore people to link up with their alumni association and of course network. And the most important thing that Nigeria needs from every one of us now is of course righting the wrongs, trying to enshrine moral and ethics, and of course redirecting ourselves towards our civic responsibilities as citizens of this great country, because nobody is going to turn around the fortune of our nation, of our communities, our society for us other than us.
You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Coming up next. General Officer Commanding 1 Division Nigerian Army Kaduna says the division has recorded most achievement in improving security in its area of responsibility in 2024. Details of that and more coming up to the break. This stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now, for more update and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with thoughts on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with thoughts on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. The National Chairman of All Progressives Congress (APC), Abdullahi Ganduje, has affirmed that Tony Okocha is the leader of the party in Rivers State. Ganduje made this declaration in Port Harcourt during the inauguration of the newly elected State Executive Committee of the party. The National Chairman of All Progressive Congress has said that the party's target is to capture Rivers State in 2027. He said though the South-South geopolitical zone is largely controlled by the People's Democratic Party, the APC is making inroads in the zone, with Cross River and Edo states already taken by the ruling party.
Congratulate the newly elected members of our State Executive Committee. You are from the South-South geopolitical zone, where this zone was dominated by PDP. Out of 6, we have recovered 2. So since we started the journey, River State is our target.
Seeming membership of APC in River State, we are in league to assure you that 2027, the story will be different. Our business is not to clap hands for the government in power. Our business is to demarket them. And we'll send signal, we'll send this instruction to them.
Speaking after his inauguration, the state APC chairman, Tony Okocha, said the party is united in the state and expresses confidence that they will take over Rivers Government House come 2027. While assuring all that he will continue to preach peace in the party, he urged members who are still pursuing litigation to turn over a new leaf and return to the fold.
Advise a few of our members, APC members, who are playing around the courts. We appeal to them, and there is nothing else to challenge in court. I do not see the power of the court superior to party. We are always told that party is and no other person than the national chairman himself.
Now to the story teased earlier. The General Officer commanding 1 Division Nigerian Army Kaduna, Major General Marienso Saraso, said the division has recorded modest achievement in improving security in its area of responsibility in 2024. General Saraso stated these are the annual 2024 West African Social Activities (WASA) held at the 2 Battalion Parade Ground in Ribado Military Cantonment, Kaduna. He commended the troops for their robust and aggressive clearance operations against the insurgents in Niger and Kaduna, which has led to the release of kidnapped victims and the surrender of bandits. In his address, the Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Dr. James Kanyeb, acknowledged the contributions of security agencies and stakeholders in addressing security challenges in the state.
Marking the culmination of a year's rigorous training activities and creating an informal setting where our brave officers, their families and civilian friends can come together and socialize. This occasion provides an invaluable opportunity to honor the rich cultural heritage and proud traditions of our communities here in the barracks. This year, the 1 Division has every reason to celebrate. Your officers and soldiers have shown extraordinary commitment to their duties and have been resolute in the discharge of their constitutional roles.
Achievement, starting from how the security situation, especially within Kaduna State, had been from the beginning of the year. You all are witnesses to how turbulent, how disturbing some criminal and terrorist activities had been, especially in Kaduna State from the beginning of the year, where we had the abduction of the Guriga school children. We also had the misfortune at about this time last year of the bombing of Tudumbiri community, which we seriously regretted and took measures.
And still on security, Benue State Governor Ayose Falia has reassured the people of the state of adequate security as they launched the state civil protection guard with 5,000 personnel to complement the effort of conventional security agencies. Governor Alia gave the reassurance while he commissioned 100 Hilux vehicles and 600 motorcycles donated to enable effective security of lives and property. Also, the launch of a joint task force named Operation Ayamir, meaning the lion has entered. The governor, who appreciated the security agencies for the relative peace so far enjoyed in the state, charged the new state civil protection guard to live up to expectations. Meanwhile, Gombe State Governor and Chairman Northern Governors Forum Inuayaya says nothing is strived without security, hence the need to provide adequate security as he commended the governor for the laudable project. The representative of the Inspector General of Police, DIG, in charge of operations, Muhammad Ali, who emphasizes the importance of partnership in tackling crime, expresses appreciation for the donation of the operational vehicles, informing that the IGP has donated 2 armored personnel carriers to the command to rid the crime in the state.
Combat criminality and create an environment where our people can live, farm, work, and thrive without fear. The formal launch of the 5,000 gallant officers of Benue State Civil Protection Guards, the donation of vehicles and special combatant operation Anyamyo Joint Security Task Force represents a decisive step forward in ensuring the safety and security of our people.
Your Excellency, I want to assure you that with this thing you did, you've taken Benue State to the next pedestal. And preparatory to the take-up of state police, I believe Benue will be found ever ready and already moving, struggling to ensure that there is peace and harmony in its communities.
The police believe in partnership, which is paramount. And that is the spirit of community policing that we all talk about partnership. Realizing the fact that we cannot do it alone, and no wonder therefore His Excellency decided to put together the Benue State Security Protection Guard to assist the police in carrying out that warrant task of providing security to the people of Benue State.
And still in Benue State, National Orientation Agency has called on Nigerians, particularly the youth, on the need to be security conscious of their environment and report any suspicious behavior to security agencies during this festive period as we approach the Christmas celebration. The Benue State coordinator of the agency, Bitrus Idoko, who emphasizes that security is everybody's business, says security should not be left in the hands of the agencies alone, particularly as we approach Christmas, which comes with heightened tendencies of criminality and the get-rich-quick syndrome. Idoko called on stakeholders such as the traditional and religious leaders to help sensitize their subject, said the National Orientation Agency has increased the sensitization campaign across the local government area on a number of issues, saying the federal government through its various organs have deployed resources to ensure a hitch-free celebration.
This effort requires the active support of citizens who must report suspicious activity and cooperate with the law enforcement agencies We are urging Nigerians to be conscious of the fact that security begins with you and I. Citizens must reject shortcut to wealth and embrace integrity, hard work, and the opportunity provided through government initiatives to make life better for them. In this Christmas season,
now to other stories, Chairman of Nigeria End Malaria Council, Aliko Dangote, has called for more effort towards eradicating malaria in Nigeria, while applauding the World Health Organization for publishing the 2024 World Malaria Report, which outlines global progress and persistent challenges in malaria control. According to a statement issued in Abuja, Dangote, on behalf of the Council, expressed optimism over Nigeria's progress in reducing its malaria burden from 27% in 2022 to 26% in 2023. It described the milestone as a significant step towards achieving the goal of eliminating malaria by 2030. Chairman of the Council called for renewed commitment from all Nigerians, encouraging healthcare workers, policymakers and citizens to intensify efforts in prevention, improving healthcare access and advocating for transformative policies. He said the comprehensive report served as an invaluable tool in the country's ongoing global efforts to fight malaria and underscores the progress that has been made as well as the challenges that lies ahead. And still on health, Group Civil Society in Malaria Control, Immunization and Nutrition, ACAMIN, is calling on government at all levels to fund and urgently take action on primary healthcare centers in Ogun State. ACAMIN State Coordinator Oluwafunmilayo Olatunji, was speaking at a media briefing, noted that the current state of the health facility required urgent attention. Speaking through the Secretary, Tayo Akinpelu, he noted that some of the challenges faced in some of the PHCs has not only impeded healthcare delivery, but has also discouraged communities from seeking essential medical care. While applauding some of the measures put in place to address the gap, the group sought for the implementation of robust maintenance plan, improved budgetary allocation to the health sector, amongst others.
Government should prioritize infrastructure in their budgets, increase funding, which is essential for innovation and upgrading of the facility. We must especially appreciate the budget of Ogun State for specifically including the renovation of more facilities. We also want to call on our community leaders to play a vital role in supporting local healthcare services.
Some of the things that have been happening in the last 3 months, that's the digital blood pressure machine, that's the manometer, was supplied to the 236 health facilities in the state, which are the flagship health centers in our state, and also glucometer was also supplied, which is also one of the things the state is trying to look at how we can have all these basic equipment in our health facility.
The AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria Network in the state has lamented the deteriorating state of primary healthcare centers in the state. They maintain the compromising state of these health facilities has undermined the quality of service delivery and deter community members from seeking care. The group, which comprises of the Civil Society in Malaria Control, Immunization and Nutrition, Network of People Living with HIV/AIDS in Nigeria and Tuberculosis Network, spoke during a media brief held in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Speaking on behalf of the body, the State COVID-19 Project Officer Tayo Akinpelu disclosed that many of these health facilities, housed in aged buildings with cracked and leaked roofs, are on the verge of collapsing.
Project, that is the community-led monitoring project, it was observed that many facilities are with aging buildings, despite quite a lot that have also been upgraded, that have also been worked on. We're also very grateful that from the 2025 budget of Ogun State, there are commitments to further do more upgrading.
In our welcome address, the lead coordinator, Olufumilayo Olatunji, thanked the state government and its effort in providing health facilities to communities, but she insisted that these efforts were insufficient. Responding, the Executive Secretary of the State Primary Healthcare Board, Dr. Elijah Ogunshola, represented by Olushola Oyiwole, stated that the board is heavily invested in the training and retraining of healthcare professionals.
That we wish to still call on all stakeholders that improving primary health care services is a collective responsibility. We wish to call on governments at the federal, state, and local government to play their part in increasing budgetary allocation, releases, and implementation. Community leaders and members of the public also play a very vital role. Hence, the reason why we are continuing to plead for their consistent support in all that is being done.
The Inspirational Care and Development Center, a non-governmental organization, has raised alarm over unfinished government projects by contractors in Ekiti State. Their concerns were shared during a youth town hall meeting held in Ado Ekiti, where they encouraged young people to champion integrity and transparency. While expressing appreciation for the government's initiatives aimed at improving residents' lives, they emphasized the need for government to admonish contractors to adhere strictly to project specification. Key stakeholders at the meeting urged the youth to actively monitor government projects and advocate for accountability within their communities. Ekiti State Government reaffirmed its commitment to adhering to procurement laws in order to promote transparency and supports the initiative of Governor Biodun Ibanji's led government. The group believes that the constructive engagement with government will empower youth, steering them away from negative influences such as drug abuse and internet fraud.
Immense potential to drive change and development. However, we know today that the country grapples with challenges such as unemployment, poor governance, inadequate access to education, and limited political participation. Thus, the vision for the Nigeria we want entails a future where youth are empowered, engaged, and have ample opportunities to contribute to the nation's growth.
And in the vibrancy and our action in ensuring that we are not just speaking, we are also acting on what we say. I want to say that accountability, like I said earlier, should not also only be left for the public office holder, should be taken deeper to civil servants. To be taken deeper. I don't know, maybe I will meet with organizers after and get more interested in this, because I know a lot of people, a lot of things that people will need to hold accountable. Of course, beyond the government, medical professionals, we need to hold them accountable for certain things.
Some reports were okay. From our finding, we found that over 60% of over 100 project monitor completed. But our major concern was the about other 40% that were not completed. For instance, there's a current investigation which we have called the government attention to. We have met with Ekiti State Chairman on the SUBEB. We have also met with the Bureau of Public Procurement on a particular 1.8 million.
A civil society organization in Rivers State has joined their other state counterpart in a rally organized by Health of Mother Health Foundation and the GMO-Free Nigeria Alliance, including farmers, women and youth organization, to call on Nigerian government to ban the use and consumption of genetically modified organisms, GMOs, in Nigeria. The rally, which started from Isaac Borough Park, walked through streets of Port Harcourt with CSOs carrying banners and placards with different inscriptions advocating for a clean environment, a good food system, and above all, food sovereignty in Nigeria. The Director of Programs at OMF, Joyce Brown, noted the GMOs pose serious health risk.
They say GMOs then lead to cancer. GMOs then lead to immune disorders. When we say, people they say, they react to this thing, and they get allergic to this thing. GMOs, they contribute to all those allergic reactions. So this one a very serious matter we come out from today, and not be just to do awareness, we dey also call on government make them ban GMOs.
Some CSOs in the Solidarity Walk noted that Nigeria does not need genetic modification to address the food system in the country.
And anything will be development, they will keep very important. Are we going to allow poison come into our food system? We must not allow poison come into our food system because poison is not good for any of us. We must say no to GMOs. We must say no to poison food. We must say no to poison beans. We must say no to poison cassava. We must say no to anything that is poisonous.
Neither as community women, we don't check. What thing they make with the hard to form children? Because it's a best woman go carry belly because of the kind of food we chop. Before you go now, you begin to come there before. Because he said, our children now when they born picking not be say nothing but small picking. Because he said when they get one eye on the eye going to go like this.
If we don't want to die for you to make money, if we have fertile land to grow our crops, why the GMOs? Simply put, it is unnecessary, it is wicked, and will not allow these GMO foods that is targeting our life.
We don't want any foreign crops. We don't want our government to put her, make this GMO come to our Niger Delta and Nigeria at large. We want to live our own life. See what we are doing now for Niger Delta. Only us, now gas flaring. Only us, now gas. Oil spill on your land, our river. Only us. We know that is, make all of us die. Now who our government go rule now?
Now it's time to do a reminder of news that made headlines during the week. Tracking the Week is up next.
Hello and welcome to Tracking the Week. On Monday, Speaker of the House of Representatives Abbas Tajuddin highlighted how corruption has drained vital resources that could otherwise be invested in infrastructure, job creation, education and healthcare. He called for a unified approach in the battle against corruption, emphasizing its devastating impact on Nigeria's development. The Speaker, represented by the Deputy Minority Whip of the House, Honorable George Ozonubi, during the International Anti-Corruption Day event organized by the House Committee on Anti-Corruption, decried the billions of dollars lost annually to corrupt practices. He warned that this systemic corruption deprives communities of essential services and perpetuates poverty and inequality. He also pointed out the broader social implications of corruption, noting how it erodes the social fabric by deepening inequities and further marginalizing vulnerable groups. Chairman of the House Committee on Anti-Corruption, Prince Kayode Akiolu, said corruption transcends financial misappropriation or outright theft, adding that at its core, corruption reflects a deviation from acceptable standards of conduct. Still on Monday, the Federal High Court in Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State, granted a lawyer and human rights activist, Dele Faritimi, a 50 million naira bail. The court decision was disclosed by the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress in the 2023 election. Omoyele revealed his ex-handle on Monday. The first hurdle was crossed. Dele Faritimi was granted bail of 50 million naira surety in the like sum with someone with a landed property. The case was adjourned to January 29, 2025, the tweet reads. In another tweet, Showore noted that Faritimi's physical trial would continue on Tuesday at the magistrate court in the state capital over a non-existent offense in Ekiti law books. We've asked the Attorney General of Ekiti State to discontinue the trial immediately, he added. On Wednesday, December 7, 2024, Peimetime was remanded in prison custody by the Ado-Ekiti Magistrate Court following his arrest on 16 counts of criminal defamation. Peimetime's trial comes on the heels of his alleged defamation of a renowned senior advocate of Nigeria and founder of the Afe Babalola University, Are Afe Babalola, in his recently published book titled Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System. On Tuesday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu commissioned a state-of-the-art data complex situated at the headquarters of the Nigerian Immigration Service. The center, which is being operated in conjunction with other stakeholders in the security sector, is expected to enhance national security surveillance and efficiency of the country's migration border management processes. President Tinubu arrived at the Nigerian Immigration Service headquarters in Abuja and was received by the Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo and the Controller General of Immigration Kemi Nandab. In her opening address, Nandab said the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Technology Innovation Complex will ascertain the risk level of persons entering the country, detect irregular migration patterns, and monitor unmanned borders in hard-to-reach areas nationwide. Still on Tuesday, the Federal Capital Territory High Court remanded the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, in Kuje Correctional Center, pending his bail application. Justice Marian Aneni also adjourned hearing in the 110 billion naira money laundering case brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to January 29 and February 25th and 27th for hearing. Correspondent Kuluju reports that the judge had earlier refused to grant a bail application filed by the former governor, saying it was filed prematurely. Justice Aneni, while delivering the ruling, said they have been filed when the first defendant was neither in custody nor before the court. This instant application was incompetent. The former governor is standing trial along with two others in an alleged 110 billion naira money laundering charge brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. While delivering her ruling, Justice Marian Aneni said the instant application for bail showed that it was filed on the 22nd of November. This shows that it was filed several days after the first defendant was taken into custody. On Wednesday, Nigeria plunged into darkness following another collapse of the national power grid. Since January 2024 till date, the grid has collapsed 11 times. Within 1 week in October, the grid collapsed 3 times with its attendant blackout, sparking reactions from Nigerians. A tweet via official national grid confirmed that the grid collapsed at about 2:09 p.m. on Wednesday. The grid setback has occurred and the restoration is to commence, the tweet read. Still on Wednesday, the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, was temporarily shut following an incident following an Allied air flight. The aircraft reportedly experienced a tire burst after the aircraft landed at the Abuja airport on Wednesday. The aircraft is reportedly stuck near the runway after skidding off, forcing the airport to be shut pending when the plane will be towed. A source at the NAIA who spoke to our correspondent said they were still at the airside at the moment where the incident happened and efforts are ongoing to reopen the runway. The incident was said to have caused significant disruptions, with several departures delayed as authorities worked to clear the affected runway. However, there were no injuries to the passengers, even as emergency officials on site. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria (FAN) confirmed the incident in a statement by its Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Obiageli Ora. The statement says, on Thursday, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio disclosed that President Bola Tinubu will present the 2025 appropriation bill to the National Assembly on Tuesday. Akpabio made this known during the announcement at the Thursday plenary on the floor of the Senate. He said the president has made his intention known to the National Assembly to present the 2025 budget to the joint session of the National Assembly on the 17th of December 2024. Akpabio announced that the budget presentation will take place at the House of Representatives chamber. Tinubu had earlier submitted the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper for 2025 to 2027 to both the Senate and the House of Representatives last Tuesday. Akpabio directed the Senate Committee on Finance, National Planning and Economic Affairs to consider the MTEF FSP document and report within 1 week. Key parameters in the MTEF FSP include a $75 oil price benchmark per barrel, daily oil production of 2.06 million barrels, an exchange rate of 1,400 naira to a dollar, and a targeted GDP growth rate of 6.4%. Still on Thursday, Senate has ordered the arrest of the managing director of Julius Berger PLC for failing to appear before its Committee on Works to explain the stalled execution of the Itu-Odukpani Highway contract. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, announced the resolution during Thursday's plenary. Correspondent Kulujo reports that the decision followed a point of order raised by Senate Minority Whip Ositangu, who had in his motion urged his colleagues to approve an order of arrest against Julius Berger, Managing Director, for snubbing invitations. This as the majority of senators took turns to express frustration over the Julius Berger Nigeria Limited's refusal to honor the Senate invitation. The President of the Senate, while ruling on resolution, said the Senate is prepared to fully back actions that hold contractors accountable. On Friday, the Federal High Court Abuja granted the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello, bail in the sum of 500 million naira with 2 sureties and like sum. This was after the former governor had pleaded not guilty to the 19-count charges brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. He's facing an alleged money laundering trial to the tune of 80 billion naira, but pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Correspondent Kulujo reports that when the case was called for hearing on Friday, counsel for the EFCC, Kemi Pinheiro San, notified the court of the intention of the prosecution to withdraw an early application of abridgment of the earlier date fixed for arraignment. He said the application had been overtaken by event. The defendant counsel, led by Joseph Daudu San, did not object, and Justice Emeka Nwite accordingly granted the request. After the defendant had taken his plea, Daudu San made clarifications on the reasons he had not been in court during the previous hearings. While moving an application for bail, he assured that the former governor would always be present in court for the trial. Still on Friday, the Appeal Court Abuja has set aside all orders restraining the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Accountant General of the Federation from releasing funds to the Rivers State government. The 3-member panel, presided by Justice Haman Barka, held that the subject matter was not within the jurisdiction of the court relating to the revenue of the state. Correspondent Kilojo reports that while allowing the appeal of the River State government, the appellate court also set aside all the orders made by Justice Joyce Abdul Malik, stating that it was unconstitutional for her to make orders restricting River State government to receive funds due to the state from its consolidated revenue fund. The appellate court held that the lower court overreached itself and didn't have the jurisdiction to entertain the matter. And that's all we have on Tracking the Week.
Coming your way next, international news.
Hello and welcome to the foreign news. ABC News has agreed to pay $15 million to U.S. President-elect Donald Trump to settle a defamation lawsuit after its star anchor falsely said he had been found liable for rape. Judge Stephanopoulos made the statement repeatedly during an interview on 10th March this year while challenging a congresswoman about her support for Trump. A jury in a civil case last year determined Trump was liable for sexual abuse, which has a specific definition under New York law. As part of Saturday's settlement, first reported by Fox News Digital, ABC will also publish a statement expressing its regret for the statement by its anchor. According to the settlement, ABC News will pay $15 million as a charitable contribution to a presidential foundation and museum to be established by or for plaintiff, as President of the United States of America have established in the past. The network also agreed to pay $1 million towards Trump's legal fees. Under the settlement, the network will post an editor's note to the bottom of its 10th March 2024 online news article about the story. An ABC News spokesperson said in a statement the company was pleased that the parties have reached an agreement to dismiss the lawsuit on the terms in the court filing. In 2023, a New York civil servant found Trump sexually abused E. Jane Carroll in a dressing room at a department store in 1996. He was also found guilty of defaming the magazine columnist. Judge Lewis Kaplan said the jury's conclusion was that Ms. Carroll had failed to prove that Trump raped her within the narrow technical meaning of a particular section of the New York penal law. 2 Russian oil tankers with 29 crew members on board have been heavily damaged in the Black Sea amid bad weather and are now leaking oil. Russian authorities have said. Video posted on Telegram by Russia's Southern Transport Prosecutor Office, which newsman has been unable to verify, appears to show one of the tankers broken in half and sinking amid a heavy storm with tracks of oil visible in the water. At least 1 crew member is believed to have died, and Russian authorities are investigating for criminal negligence. The incident took place in the Kerch Strait, which separates Russia from occupied Crimea. A rescue and cleanup operation is underway involving tugboat, helicopters and more than 50 personnel. Today, as a result of a storm in the Black Sea, 2 tankers sank, Russia's Federal Sea and Inland Water Transport Agency wrote in a statement. There were crews of 15 and 14 people on board the ship. The accidents resulted in a spill of oil product, it continued. Both tankers having a loading capacity of about 4,200 tons of oil. The full extent of the oil spill remains unclear. 5 people have died in shooting in northern France, including near a migrant camp, and a 22-year-old man has turned himself in to police. 4 people, 2 security guards and 2 migrants, were fatally shot near the camp in Lomplague, a stretch of coastline near Dunkirk, unnamed security sources told outlets in France. The gunman is alleged to have also confessed to an earlier shooting in a nearby town of Wormhout. Local media said weapons were found in a suspect car. Dunkirk's Mayor Patrice Verdict said the motive behind the attack remains unknown. Vertig described the incident as a tragedy and said an individual coldly murdered several people in the area. Xavier Bertrand, head of the region's assembly, confirmed on X that 5 people had died in a tragic event. French media reported a large emergency services presence close to a migrant camp, though it is unclear if the shootings took place inside a settlement. Lomplague is home to several temporary settlement housing migrants. It's near to Calais and the Strait of Dover, which is the narrowest part of the channel. Similar camps along France's northern coast have been used by people attempting to reach the UK via small boats. Still on foreign news, Australia says the 5 remaining members of the Bali 9 drug ring have returned home after almost 20 years in Indonesian prison. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese wrote on social media, "I am pleased to confirm that Australian citizens C.E. Chen, Michael Zuzag, Matthew Norman, Scott Rush and Martin Stevens have returned to Australia this afternoon." He thanked Indonesia's President Prabowo Subianto for his compassion. The high-profile case began in 2005 when Indonesia caught 9 young Australians trying to smuggle 8.3 kg of heroin out of Bali. The 8 men and 1 woman were arrested at an airport and hotel in Bali after a tip-off from Australian police. The case made news worldwide when 2 of the gang's ringleader, Andrew Chan and Murian Sukuram, were executed by firing squad in 2015, sparking a row with Australia. After the executions, Australia recalled its ambassador to Indonesia, although he returned to Jakarta 5 weeks later. Other members of the Bali 9 were handed life term in prisons. The case put a spotlight in Indonesia's strict drug laws, some of the most stringent in the world. One of the 9 Tenduktan young died of cancer in 2018. Shortly afterwards, Rainy Lawrence, then 41, the only woman among the group, had her sentence commuted after spending almost 13 years in prison. Australia's government said of the 5 men's return, the men will have the opportunity to continue their personal rehabilitation and reintegration in Australia. He expressed deep appreciation to Indonesia for allowing them to return home on humanitarian grounds. France's Indian Ocean territory of Mayotte has been struck by the worst cyclone to hit the islands in nearly a century. At least 11 people were reportedly killed when Cyclone Chido made landfall, causing wind gusts of more than 225 kilometers per hour, with fears the death toll could rise. French President Emmanuel Macron said France will be there for the people of Mayotte, while French officials said 250 firefighters and security personnel will be sent to the islands, with some having already arrived. France's Interior Minister Bruno Retailleau said all makeshift homes have been completely destroyed, and he feared a heavy death toll. One local news source reported that 11 people were killed and 246 injured based on a hospital report. AFP reports a higher death toll, at least 14, citing a security source. Located northwest of Madagascar, Mayotte is an archipelago comprised of one main island, Grand Thierry, and several smaller ones. Most of the island's 300,000 or so inhabitants live in shacks with sheet metal roofs, and tens of thousands of people have lost their homes. Electricity, water, and internet connections are all down. The government in Paris has sent a military transport plane with supplies and emergency workers. Even before the cyclone hit with full force on Saturday morning, there were reports of trees being uprooted, roofs being ripped off buildings, and power lines being downed. Finally, on foreign news, 7 tourists in Fiji have been sent to a hospital with suspected alcohol poisoning and are reported to be in a critical condition. It is believed they drank cocktails at a resort bar on Saturday night local time and shortly afterwards displayed nausea, vomiting and neurological symptoms. 4 of the 7 are Australian, with ages ranging from 18 to 56, according to local media reports citing the Health Ministry. The incident comes weeks after the death of 6 tourists in the Southeast Asian nation of Laos because of suspected methanol poisoning. The tourists in Fiji, who were reportedly staying at a resort in the Coral Coast, were initially taken to Sigatoka Hospital. They were all later transferred to Lautoka Hospital. According to the Fiji Times, 2 Australian families in Fiji are receiving consular assistance, as Australian Foreign Ministry spokesperson told newsmen. And that's all we have on the foreign news.
And that is all we have for you. We thank you so much for watching. My name is Eribami Salako. Do have a great week ahead.